Oh, what's happening guys, Gemma here, I'm back again for another video, and this time it is going to be about the Nintendo Switch release of Ultra Street Fighter 2. We should all be familiar with the franchise, especially if you grew up in the 16-bit period like me. Some awesome iterations of Street Fighter 2 have been donning our console collections for many a years. Over 20 years right now, and I just think this franchise is so solidified in the gaming world. It was only a matter of time before the Nintendo Switch had its own little game, and I think it's fab, and I'm going to talk about some of my thoughts. I've played the hell out of it this weekend, picked it up on launch, I've got a lot to say. Now, what I'm seeing a lot of is people complaining about the price point. I think it's $40 in the US, it is $35.99 if you buy it retail here, but I'm sure there are plenty of other stores, especially online stores, where you can get it a hell of a lot cheaper. Now, people are saying that the initial retail price is too much. It is too much for a rehashing of a rehashing of a rehash. I actually don't think it's bad at all, to be absolutely honest with you. I was expecting Nintendo to do something incredibly shady and price this up at 50 quid. Honestly, after playing Bomberman on the Switch and paying full price for that and being immensely disappointed with it, I actually thought we're going to get some shady ass price point. So when I went in the store and it was only 35 quid, I was relieved. I'm going to say that now, I was relieved, because if you've played Bomberman on the Switch, if you're anything like me, I think it's just a good old 6 out of 10. Nothing revolutionary, really didn't like the isometric style of the game, not worth full price at all. So I was very surprised at this, so I just want you to bear that in mind. Let's just kind of get that out of the way before we talk about the actual game itself. Let me know what you think about the price in the comment section below. I did tweet this out, I did put it on my Instagram and Facebook, and a lot of you guys said that you picked it up and you were also very happy with it. It seems to be trending a lot over the weekend just gone. So what do I like about it? I really like that straight off the bat you can just dive into arcade mode. We've got the really nice option of having the old style graphics as well as the old style audio, as well as the refined, crisp, almost kind of cel-shaded almost kind of graphics that look immense on tablet as well as on the TV. I was really blown away with the graphical style on this. I think this is going to be one of those games that just ages amazingly. So in like 10-15 years time you can still pop this back in your Switch and be blown away just how good this looks. So arcade mode, it is what it says on the tin. You get a choice between, I think there's 20 characters, with Akuma being unlockable straight from the start, and the additional 2 characters of Evil Ryu, or Ryu as we say here in the UK, and Evil Ken. Both characters have existed in previous Street Fighter games, so they're not necessarily new to this, but new, you know, it's just nice to kind of have them ready to kind of unlock as you kind of start the game. And just on the topic of unlockables, this game doesn't really offer much in terms of, you know, being able to unlock different things. You know, like costumes are pretty, like, I think for example Ryu, it was the first character I tried, there were 10 different costume iterations right from the get-go. Really liked the choices you have. It really just kind of fleshed out arcade mode. Because it is quite straightforward, it's very simple, so just having those little tidbits in Ultra Street Fighter 2, it really did flesh it out, so that was really cool. Now, I'm going to admit I'm crap on Street Fighter. I played through on the easiest mode first and smashed it, went up and played it on the next difficulty and got my ass kicked. So I'm kind of like in between novice and intermediate. If there's this kind of notch in between where I am, I'm absolutely lame. So I'm not kind of being a Street Fighter 2 snob here at all. But let me know what your ability is on this. I think it's important. For me, I want to get across this kind of notion of ability, because there's a lot of snobs out there that are like, you know, really kind of hardcore on the hardcore Street Fighter circuit, and they really look at people like me and just wince because my skill level is crap. And that never became more apparent when I dived onto the online mode. Now, for me, I found it to be pretty stable so far. I was expecting some difficulties, some teething problems, but I went straight into matches. There was very minimal intermission time, so that was really nice. And I did get my ass handed to me. I did win a couple of matches, but I think I definitely need a little bit more practice, and I'm going to utilise my arcade mode that little bit more to really beef out my skills and learn all the moves pretty fluidly, and then go back onto online mode and just kick some ass and get my revenge. So let me know again if you've played it online mode, and if you want to play, let me know. I'll probably post my Switch ID in the description, so make sure you guys check that out. Now, one of the new things that is introduced in Ultra Street Fighter 2 is wave the Hado, the Hardo, the Hado. My English accent doesn't sound good with it. The Americans say it are much better than me. And what it is essentially is having both Joy-Cons and kind of like exercising or pulling off moves in first person mode using the Joy-Cons. Now, it is not that great. The mechanics don't really work that well. I was kind of trying to pull off like Hadoukens and not getting that particular move executed in the slightest. It was ridiculous. I'd pull off some other move that I've never even kind of thought of trying. So it is a mode that definitely does need a little bit of tweaking, and there are 3 difficulties within that mode, and you can develop your abilities in 6 main areas of that mode. It is not something that I would recommend you try first, because for me this game could have really done without it. I completely see what Nintendo are trying to do, but I think they should leave those kinds of modes, leave them way off, and let games like ARMS take care of Joy-Con, you know, Joy-Con movement. Leave it off, I'm not interested in it at all. But if you are, let me know. I always like to hear from you guys. It's nice to get different opinions on things and look at this from different slants. But that for me is probably one of my biggest gripes, is just having that mode to me adds no value. It adds no value. It's fidgety, it's poorly kind of executed overall. Conceptually it's good, but it doesn't quite have the finesse for it to be something solid in selling this game. So you've also got things like gallery in this, which again isn't really something that is a major part of the game for me. It is about the nuts and bolts of the fighting, so I'm not quite sure what I know what the gallery is for. It is to kind of troll back and look at different kind of snapshots, pictures, etc, etc. But for me it has to add value, and I don't think it adds any value. Street Fighter is essentially a fighting game. It is a 2D fighting game that is at the core of many people's hearts, and many people grew up on it, and I think for me that really stems from the arcade mode. The arcade mode for me is where it is at. I do need to improve my skills a little bit, and I'm planning on going through completing the entire thing with all the characters. I think I've done about 6 so far completions on the easiest mode, because I'm just kind of getting used to things. My favourite character by far is Sagat. I absolutely loved Sagat in Street Fighter 4. I find him to be incredibly agile, but also have that power because he's just so tall and so beefy in stature. And I've also found like his moves are just some of the easiest to kind of pull off. Admittedly, I am checking the command list, which is quite easy to kind of get to. You just hit your button and it's all right there in the in-game menu system, so that's really, really nice. And I want to say about the command menu, you know, where your moves are, it's not over encumbered with like moves. You know, there are different pages you can cycle through, and there's about 4, 5, sometimes less moves on each page. So you've got like your special moves, that'll be on one page, and then they're kind of categorized, so it's really easy to cycle through. I've played fighters in the past where it's just an entire list and you're just cycling down and cycling down to try and find a move that you want to find. This is actually sectioned off. The library of moves, the command list is really, really easy to use. So is it worth it? Should you be picking this up, or should you be completely avoiding it? If you're already thinking that this is too expensive, don't bother with it. Don't bother with it, because you're not going to be happy. If you're somebody like me and actually expected this to be pitched at 45, 50 pounds, went in and it was 35, I would say absolutely go for it. This game doesn't necessarily offer masses and masses and masses amounts of new experiences, but it will give you that nostalgia punch. It will put a smile on your face. It is excellent in 2-player mode. It is pretty solid online as well, albeit I need to polish my moves before I go back online. And I think overall it is worth it. I think there are more people out there that are going to be picking this up now at full price than people that are avoiding it. It'll be even more of a bargain like at Christmas time, or you know, early next year when it starts to drop in price a little bit. So if you can, you know, that's great for you, because obviously it's cheaper and you're really getting a solid experience. Its strengths are in arcade mode, its weaknesses are in pointless features to me, like the gallery and way of the Hado. I can't even pronounce it right. I think they should have been something that just, we don't need it. Let's flash out the arcade mode. It feels great. I love the fact that you can switch to old school graphics and old school audio stuff. Again, that's where the nostalgia comes in. You've got to pick it up, guys. Give it a chance. If you can maybe look through your 360 games and trade some in and put it towards this, you won't be disappointed. But let me know your thoughts below, guys. Are you enjoying it? Are you avoiding it? Smash them comments. So thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. I'm not quite sure what day this video is going to be released, but I hope you're having a beautiful day no matter where you are in the world. And I just want to thank you again for pushing me towards that 15k. Really, really, really appreciate the support. You've been amazing. But for now, my name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon.